Welcome, everybody, to the Ogre Live. I don't know if any of y'all will show up or if many of you will show up or who will show up, but we're going to try something a little different today. I was getting ready to do my normal daily thing, and I realized that this is such a serious topic, that there's so many varying opinions on it, that I thought I would do something new. So if you're on Twitter and you follow me or you don't follow me, send me a message, send me a tweet, and I will send you a link in the direct message so that you can join the conversation too. We only ask a couple things since it's early in the day. Profanity, hey, we don't censor here, but I would like to ask you not to just use profanity for profanity's sake. I'm not a big censorer. If you've seen some of the live streams that I have hosted, you will see that I can get just as crazy as anybody that you've ever met in your life. And today we are talking about a serious topic, so I want to kind of try to shy away from that. If anybody has the link and the sound of my voice, in fact, I might be pulling it up right now. I am. Never mind. I was going to ask a question. Hi, Drunken Sailor. It's so good to see you out there. I kind of wanted to get this young lady on, but I don't, I'm not going to pressure anyone. So it's just so good to have you on today, Drunken Sailor, and for you to be here. Let your friends know about it. And the main, I see also Going Youper. Youper, I'm going to have to send you a link to Gmail. I'm doing that right now. And if you want to jump in right here before you have to take off, I would be just love to have you on and for you to give us an idea of what you think about this. I don't know, what shall I call it? Insanity that they're, this Vault 7. It's not like we all shouldn't have known about it. I mean, to me, it's not like it's an extremely new thing. I hate to keep using this person's name, but it's in a video I just did, so I also don't want to belabor it too much. But if you haven't seen that, Alex Jones, he was talking about how he had his phone on but not being used. It was just off, a blank screen and down. And they did a little test, and they started talking about desks and getting new desks for the office, for his studio there. And then lo and behold, after an hour or so, that when he got on his social media, Twitter, whatever, Facebook, I don't want to advertise for all of these people, but he noticed that all of the ads were about office desks. So I and my best friend, the King, we decided to do the same test because we wanted to see if he was just doing that. And we both looked at our social media, nothing up there, but we all know that Amazon knows what we want to buy before we buy it, right? We all know that, right? So we just checked to make sure that it wasn't already on there because I'd been talking about getting an office chair. Me and the King have been friends since grade school, so we have no problem talking and making anything seem real. Put our phones down, started discussing that I wanted to, in fact, I'm sitting in the chair that I wanted to get. It's a leather, oversized, I'm 6'2", and it's an oversized office chair so that I can sit back and relax and be comfortable, and it's not an issue. Guess what? After an hour of that, on our social media were all of these things. You have to read those privacy statements, and they are a small book in length. This may seem a little technical, and thank goodness we should have one other person coming that I'm not going to mention in case she continues to have some technical difficulty. Oh, and there she is. Do I hear your voice, sweetie? And it is Miss Liz. And I'm not sure that I can't hear her right now, and I'm hoping that it's not any problem with my own personal equipment. And Miss Liz, as soon as you get any vocals, you go ahead and you stop me no matter where I'm at, because I'm telling you, folks, I listen to this person's channel. I will put a link in the low bar when this is loaded up. If you have a minute to go by, please check out Lizzie Reptile. She has some excellent videos. The little icon that you should be able to see down there right now, I believe, is of her own creation. And she does this thing where she pretty much gives a big, as the British would say, a big, what to Disney, because she owns her own stuff. And we all know that down in Florida, Disney actually sued the daycare because they had the audacity to write Mickey and have Mickey and Minnie Mouse on the wall inside of their daycare. They sued him and made him paint the wall. So as soon as I seen that particular video from Miss Lizzie Reptile, I fell in love with her. And I will leave anything else that's going on in her life completely up to her to tell you if she would like to. But she has some other things that she deals with, and she's very cool about sharing these things with you and trying to raise awareness of what's going on with other, I'm pretty sure at least 99% females that have this rare disease and how they're exploited. And some of them, most of them probably know what they're doing to themselves, but yet they continue to, I don't know, get a pat on the back, of course, for the money. But listen, I'm getting off into the weeds a little bit. And oh, we got going, Youper. I see that a microphone is muted, but Youper, as soon as you want to say something, brother, I'm here, and I know that time is limited for you. So I'm going to start to read a little something. But Youper, if you're just waiting for, oh, I see the microphone off. So how you doing, Youper? I've got to make sure I don't have anyone else muted. I don't think I do. In fact, I was just talking to Carlos. So I'm pretty sure that I don't. Go in, Youper. If I hear your voice, I will stop. The point of today's, I think I already pretty much briefly said, was to try to remind you, for any of you Stephen King fans out there, the CIA, they call themselves spooks. I call them low men, like from the Dark Tower series and from Hearts in Atlantis, the men that drive these big cars that are really some kind of animal, have a hole in their forehead that they breathe through. I call them low men because their tactics are so similar. They're so evasive. The first thing, I mean, does everyone understand that the NSA, they have a joke in the agency? Does anybody know what it is? What does NSA stand for? No such agency. They teach these, they compartmentalize to the point, and there's two kinds of compartmentalization. Without making this terribly boring, a psychologist would say we compartmentalize in our mind. In other words, something horrible and traumatic has happened to you. You're dealing with PSTD, post-traumatic stress disorder. And so you put this in a compartment in your mind, and yes, it's there, but it's behind some locks and some doors, and it's there and you can deal with it. Well, it's different in these agencies. They compartmentalize by making many compartments, and I'm talking about even if they're all working on the same project. They go on what they like to term a need-to-know basis, and guess what? They never think anyone needs to know. So NSA, no such agency. The CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, they are the spooks. They are the low men. They call themselves spooks. Their first job is to lie to you. If you tell them a lie, I believe it's 8 years. And that lie could be, oh, I had eggs that morning for breakfast. And when they ask you the same question 50 times, you say bacon and eggs. Bam, they call it a got you. My best advice to anyone, if you're ever contacted by the FBI or the CIA, and they'll make this very difficult on you, they'll hold you in a small room for hours, probably 48 to 72. Don't say a word. Hold your hands like this and don't even nod your head. Don't say a word. That might be hard for you to do, but eventually they have to let you out. And if you say anything to them, they got you, folks. So if we got, I see another microphone off. Mr. Youper, if you're just being polite, I would like to hear you anytime. And if not, you'll see in the sidebar here, there's in your chat, in the window where you can see yourself, you'll notice that over here, there's a blue box with like, it's a chat box. If you click on that, a bar will come up to the right and you can type anything that you'd want right there. I'm going to type you a little message right now. I'm just going to type YOOPER because, oh, there he is. My mic is not working.
Mic check for
no
me.
problem.
Mic check for me.
Oh, thank goodness. Welcome, Miss Liz.
Sorry, the fucking other computer wasn't working on it. You're so worried about being so polite to me, too. He's sitting there trying to tell me, oh, don't worry, most respect, dude. I walk around with half my audience saying I have gigantic, stretchy meat flaps.
I know, I've heard it, but I want you to know it's not special. It's not special to you. That is just my nature to be as polite as I can be, because when debates and stuff come up, I'm actually kind of an asshole. So I guess maybe I'm compensating for that thing.
Don't overcompensate. I'd much rather talk to somebody that's willing to throw a beer at my head when they get pissed than somebody that wants to open the door. There
Got one
you
right.
go.
I've got one right here. So I'll just call you Lizzie, and we'll stick
That's
with that.
it's
All right.
Liz or Lizzie or Liz or Elizabeth or that fucking meat flapped chick, whatever, dude.
Mhm. And I see Carlos back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be looking over here to my right. And you know what, Liz, I'm going to send you this link right now on Twitter so that you'll know where I'm coming from. And that way, if you read something on there, you won't think, oh, that guy's just trying to be Mr. Smarty Pants. I'm not really all that intelligent. I just read a lot. And I don't know. Intelligence is up for debate, but I read a lot, and then a lot of times I am reading what I've read.
Just
And
make
in this
sure
case,
whatever you do not accidentally turn on any porn. I can see the reflection of your computer in your glasses.
no, I'm without a lie. I don't watch pornography. I don't do it. It's just something I choose not to put into my head. I have too many other things to put in there without
I
that.
know,
And I
but
have a lovely
it's
wife.
funny. Would it be funny if you got a DMCA over what got shined into your glasses?
It wouldn't be the craziest thing they've done, that's for sure.
I mean, it would be fucking hilarious because think about what people put on Twitter randomly. You know, I know somebody that ended up getting a inability to stream for a little while because he was showcasing his Twitter feed and he followed Mercedes. And so Mercedes started posting naked butt pictures, and it was like, uh-oh. Bam, channel got shut down for 3 months, not able to stream. I'm sorry,
Okay.
I tangent.
And I just want to say before, so I don't break in again, Going Uper, if you want to cancel it out, brother, you will always be welcome here. I'm sure that Mr. Uper had some really wonderful things to say. If you swing by his channel, Going Uper, I'll put a link for that also in the low bar. You'll see a really great dad that does wonderful things for his children, and you'll find out how he actually acquired one of those children. And I don't know, go and encourage him.
Wait, how do you acquire a child?
Well,
Wait.
I know that was weird. I want people to go and see, because he'll tell you all about it there. So, oh, I just heard something.
Yeah, I got a little bit of mic issues right this minute. I'm working on it.
No worries.
We're gonna hear you,
And
though.
I think you hear us talking about it when you come back on. If you wanted to even start this by saying how you acquired some children, give yourself a teaser for your channel. I'd be honored if you did that, sir.
Yeah, don't you know, Going Uper. I'll give you a quick rundown. In 2012, my sister-in-law and brother-in-law passed away, leaving behind a small child. Me and my wife been in Florida with our 3 children for the last 20 years, and nobody up here was able to take care of them. So we didn't want to take him away from the only family he knew. So we hopped on a plane, came up here, bought a house, went back to Florida, packed everything up, moved the boys up here. Here we are now in the UP of Michigan. And that's where we're at. He's a great kid. We've had him for about 3 years now. He's doing awesome. Works with our family perfectly. He is definitely our son. So sorry about the quickness. Sorry about the scattered words. I only have a few minutes. I got a class showing up here.
No worries whatsoever.
I'm gonna have to go.
Okay, you got to go right this second, because if not, take at least a minute and tell us what you think about this Vault 7 thing. If you can, sir. If not, have a wonderful day.
I would need more time to talk about it. I'll say
Okay,
this.
no problem.
I'll say this.
Thank you so much for showing up, Mr. Uper.
I will say real quick about it. This is something that's been going on for many, many years before any one of us was even born. So this is not new at all. It's just they're just getting better at it. And there's more to come. And like I said in a comment to you a long time ago, there's only 2 ways to take care of this, and that's shut everything down or band together. And both of those things are going to be really hard wars to fight, harder than fighting that alone.
That's a fact. That is very astute of you to point that out. In fact, if you do have to split down Mr. Uper, I'm going to put you a really good thing in the low bar, a link to your channel. And also, oh, I see he's got his mic muted, so I may just pick up off of that the idea that this is a new thing, because it's not a new thing. So I don't want to keep you here. I don't want to make you late for anything. One more plug for your channel.
Yeah, check me out, Going Uper. Pretty much about my family, a little bit of political stuff in there. I try to keep politics and religion out of my stuff because I'm just non-biased to everybody's opinion. Everybody has the right to their opinion. I don't have a God myself, but I'll fight for your right to have one, and that's who I am. I wish y'all have a great day. I got to go. Got people pulling in. Take care.
Well said, sir. And I have to say, there are so many unexplored nooks in YouTube, and I spent a whole video on it yesterday. So I'm just going to go ahead and say, hey, plug myself and say, go and watch that. Going Youper definitely made that list. To other two guests today didn't, but I'm going to do one of those every Sunday. So if you haven't seen yourself on that list yet, just keep watching. You're going to see yourself on there, especially if you are very entertaining and not a lot of people know about you. To me, that is the highest. I don't want to say I don't even know how to put it. It just seems strange to me.
He's going to be late. Let him run.
Oh, I thought he was already gone. Yeah, go on, you, bro. I'm not trying to hold you here.
No worries,
no,
man. I have to start the class. They can't start without me, so it's not that big of a deal. People are just getting their stuff out of their car and everything else. So I do have a couple seconds, and I just want to tell everybody else, man, you know what you're talking about. You have a great cast of people that you work with. I respect each and every one of you. Liz, I am new to seeing your channel. I will be definitely checking it out. I'm a big reptile guy also. I have another second channel. I'm not going to plug it here, about ball pythons and reptile care. Thank you so much for having me, man. You are doing awesome things, and I really appreciate you.
See you, man.
Humbling. See you later, Mr. Youper. Go in Youper. Make sure you check him out. What a great plug for Miss Liz. She is great.
Awesome.
And again, I'm going to try my best with the Mr. and Mrs. thing. When you get something so ingrained in you, it's like, listen, Pavlov's dogs, they couldn't just quit salivating when they heard a bell ring. And if your mom backhands you every time you don't say, sir, Mr., ma'am, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, open the door for a lady, pretty soon you find yourself salivating when you hear that bell ringing, if you know what I'm trying to say to you. So, Mr. Carlos, I see your mic is off, or Mr. Liz, Miss Liz, pardon me. Either one of y'all, if you want to jump in, because he made a mention, and Carlos and I were talking earlier, so either one of y'all want to jump on. I got a little timer here, but it's not really timed. It's just if you go 5 minutes, I will just say you've been 5 minutes. So jump on the idea. Is this a new thing in either one of your experience?
No. Being an American and seeing how people just randomly disappear every time there is a conflict of interest. Oh, they were in a car accident, or oh, they killed themselves due to depression and something like that when they are just about to make the biggest break of their life. It has happened way too many times to be any sort of coincidence. People are being basically politely removed from the gene pool. That is one big thing that has been going on ever since before the Kennedy administration. And there's always also some conspiracy theories out there, get your tinfoil hat on, that he was even killed due to his dislike of the CIA. All of this is said and done, the idea that there's only two options out of it, I believe that there is a third option, and that is that the CIA is hired by the United States government to do the job. Well, they also do have the power to fold them and start a new company. And that's what they call themselves, is the company. So why not start a new CIA and kick those ones out? If they are shown to be so corrupt, cut their funding, get them fired.
And anybody that thinks she's crazy, they did start one. So I've got to second that. Continue, young lady.
So the whole thing is you've got Trump at office right now, and he's really good at firing people. Why not see if there's a way to do that? Now, please, CIA, do not come over and shoot me for stating such a thing. I'm just a woman with a microphone. I do not have any political or powering push of any sort. Go fuck yourselves. I've got a red bead on my forehead right now.
And that's great. And it is, whenever you're done, Mr. Carlos, you pick it up. I'm not stopping you right now. You got lots of time. Let's go right ahead.
No, I'm looking up the because as Liz says, it's not new. When I first heard about the basically the CIA, and not just the CIA, but well, the CIA, yes, using Australia, UK, and American. I heard that they had 3 systems. Pine Gap in Australia is a monitoring system, a radar system that was developed during the Cold War to monitor Soviet communications and shit. And I'm trying to find out here that there was a news when I was living in Australia. There was constant news about Pine Gap and that facility that they were using that to monitor not just the Soviet Union then, but also everyone else. Communications, all communications, telephones. There was no cell phones then, but telephones, computers, and the computers were very limited as well because the internet was just at its infancy. So it's nothing new what the CIA is doing now.
No, I have to second that. And if you were done there, sir, I don't want to cut you off, but if you were done there, I kind of want to read a little bit right from these WikiLeaks. You wouldn't believe.
You never put the link in the side chat. Sorry, sir.
Oh, I didn't put it in. Okay, I sent it to you right on the thing. I'm gonna put it in the side chat right now. Let's copy it. And let's see. This is I want to make sure that I'm giving you the one that I'm going to be reading. So let me copy this one. And I believe it should take you to a page that is, it says on the very top, Vault 7 CIA hacking tools revealed, and it's got the Central Intelligence Agency symbol to the right, and then it's
chat on the side.
Yeah, I'll put it in there. You're right. I'm ruining by just talking about stuff.
I think it's Echelon. Just put a link here on the side. It may be that, but my memory is. Yeah.
And I just, like I said, I'm just gonna, if this gets too long, one of y'all cut me off. But I want to give you an idea that these spooks, these low men, these NSA agents, their number one job is to lie. And if you think it's not to lie to the American people, go back to the number one job. It's to lie. So this is, and I'm going to get some acronyms here, and I will do my best to let you know what they are as I go. It says this is EDG, familiarization, TDY. TDY means temporary duty relocation, and EDG, I'll be honest, I was looking in here, and if I come across it, I'll let you know, but I didn't see an explanation for that acronym. Just please remember, there's spooks they don't want us to know. They want this to be confusing. It says before you go, so before you leave the country and you're going in country, talk to CCIE/engineering about your planned TDY, temporary duty assignment. Consider U.S.-German holidays. Think about what their holidays are. Current base of activity of the USG government shutdowns. Now, so they're saying U.S. government shutdowns, world events, etc. In other words, before you go, get familiar with what's going on really well, because Europeans, I think that Carlos can attest to this, generally know more about what's going on than your average American, with due respect to all the Americans watching. That is just, that is not really objective, but it's a fact, okay? Not all. What would you say, Carlos, before I continue? Because I want to know if I'm right.
No. There's just morons everywhere, even here, even in Europe.
Okay.
Trust me.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. So in other words, they're telling you to get up on the current events, and it says CCIE can provide you with a list of hotels that you can choose from for your TDY. Remember, that's temporary duty, TDY. Try not to stray from this list. These hotels are pre-approved by Frankfurt base. Write your own cable requesting your temporary duty assignment currency. Seriously, if you have never written a cable in your entire career, do it yourself. Learn how to write a cable. Believe it or not, it's a handy skill. Learn to create your cover for action story. They're telling them, learn what you are going to tell people you are, even though you are not that. Learn or create your covers for action story. There will be a slight difference based on your own covert status. Talk to the CCIE engineering, have your point of contact information on your person. I'm gonna go down. This is just, well, let me read all this. I'm trying to do it quickly. If that's getting boring, Carlos, just cut me off. There will be a slight difference based on your own covert status. Talk to the engineering, have a travel credit card. You will need the personal identification number to get cash advance. Advance and conversion fees are accountable on your TDY voucher. Government travel cards will work great for this, but built-in accounting. In other words, they want you to do that so you keep track of your thing. But they go on to tell you, you are allowed to write checks for euros at the consulate cashier if you're in the temporary duty status. So if you would rather get cash that way, remember your checkbook. If you're using personal credit cards, and this is getting a little boring, so I'm gonna say during your flight, look at this. They're so specific. These people have a network. I'm guessing that United Airlines and Lufthansa are I don't know. They're part of it anyway. So it says flying Lufthansa, booze is free, so enjoy with reason. And then it says flying United, my condolences, but at least you're earning a United leg towards a status increase. In other words, doing this, you could come up in the agency. If you have an overnight flight, most likely to get some sleep, you'll be adjusted faster. When you arrive, I'm almost done. I'm going to go down to the first day if you're watching this, Carlos, and then I'm going to be quiet.
Yes.
We can talk about whatever. When you arrive, listen to this, folks. If this don't make you mad the next time you go through any kind of airport, I believe if it's anything like the United States in the world where some guy or girl puts on rubber gloves and begins to fondle you if you don't want to go through a thing like I never go through, then this will kind of piss you off a little bit. It says breeze through German customs because you have your cover for action story down pat, and all they did was stamp your passport. Nice to be them, isn't it? Get some euros from a Deutsche Bank ATM, not a telex machine, not the same thing. You remembered your credit card with its PIN, right? Get a cab to your hotel room from the airport. Check in, drop off your bags, shower. This is parentheses. You probably need one. This is how specific they are with their agents, folks. This specific. Do not leave anything electronic or sensitive unattended in your hotel room. In parentheses, paranoid, yes, but better safe than sorry. If you arrive on Sunday morning, expect to find most businesses, grocery stores especially, are closed. They still have blue laws over there because the Catholic Church ran everything over there. I'm assuming that's why, but their stuff's closed on Sunday. It'll tell them. Some restaurants may be open. Gas stations are not recommended for fine dining. If that doesn't tell you something about what these people expect and what kind of life they expect to live on, my fellow Americans, on your dime. Anyway, if you arrive on Monday morning, expect that they may not have a room ready at your hotel. Get checked in, decompress, and then head into the consulate. Now, I'm going to read a little bit more, but anything. Oh, I see there's a muted mic. So I might go ahead down to the first day because I like I'm saying, folks, if this is just a tiny little bit boring, and I am reading this, so if I've missed you in the comments and you want to come on, just DM me. I'm going to be checking Twitter periodically. I'm checking it right now, and I will send you the link. Oh, look who it is. It's Mrs. Wolfchild. So, Mrs. Wolfchild, did you hear what I was just reading?
No, I just popped in. I was dealing with my kids before.
Would you like to take right now to get a break from this? It's kind of, it's very technical. I'm just reading like how they tell their agents to prepare for covert activities in Germany. So if you would like to give like your 2 cents in a 5-minute package right now, I know you're so good at doing that. I will be quiet right now and kick it right over to Mrs. Wolfchild and Mrs. Liz. I see it, Miss Liz. I see that you have your mic off. You can jump in right when she's done. I'm going to go silent for a minute.
I was just going to say, oh, Liz ran away. All I really know about Vault 7, all I heard about all this stuff coming out was stuff we already knew. They're listening to everything. They're watching us. We knew this crap. People just didn't want to listen. And they use stupid stuff like women's marches and stuff to distract people so they don't notice, oh, hey, we're admitting that we do this shit that we tell y'all you're crazy for thinking we do. That's it. That's all I hadn't really paid much attention to what's going on. I've been cleaning house and dealing with kids the last few days, so I just heard it had happened.
Well, that's absolutely okay. And if you're still there, Liz, you can jump in. I was actually almost to take my restroom break, and there was a little dead air. So you just feel free, Amanda. You're so good at this. You talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'd kind of like you to stay on this topic. I believe Liz had a little bit of technical difficulties, and if not, she'll be back. In fact, I can see in the sidebar. So if you want to just, I mean, I'm giving you all the time you want, girl. If you want to talk about this, about how it's affected your life, you just rock and roll.
Oh, well, I don't know. My family and everything, they think that I think about stuff too much, and thinking about all this stuff isn't going to change it anyway. So you might as well just smile and do what everybody else does and not fucking think about it or worry about it, because what's it matter? But that just, I don't know, that to me seems like you're playing into what they want you to do. That's what they want. They're just making the people stupid. They're not thinking critically. They're not questioning anything. They'll just smile and go along because it makes their lives easier.
Yeah, and you know what? You're to me, in my estimation, I've watched, I believe now, every one of your videos. You really have some good insight. So I just kind of want to lead you here a little bit. What is the end game on all of this watching? Where are they going with this?
Oh, I mean, they could do anything with what. That's the point. Like, they don't have to have a specific end goal. They could use your information for marketing because it makes some money, or, oh, hey, we found this out about you. We're going to use it because we don't like you. You're going to make trouble for us. So we're going to use these bits and pieces of information we've gathered, put them together in a way, and send you to jail. Or they could use it to catch actual criminals because they should do that. They could do whatever they want with your information. The point is, the person that has the information has the power to do whatever they want. That's why they have to gather it all. They're trying to get everything they can on everybody. That's why they want you to go and pay them money to take your blood and tell you your ancestry, even though they can't give you very specific results, and it's all just a bunch of hype to make you want to do it. Because then they get your blood and they can have it for any reason they want it for, and they got you to pay for them to do it. I don't know, people just, they think that you're crazy because this shit sounds crazy when you say it all, but it's all true. It all happens.
No, that's an excellent point. I actually had my ancestry done because until I was just in my just double digits, I was around 10 years old when my grandma, that I can look at right here, right now, told me that I was Jewish, because where we lived, and I don't want to say the towns, but it was, one was just below in fact, both were just below the Mason-Dixon line, and things there are different than they are some other places. And you can't look at me and see that I'm Jewish like most Jewish people. In fact, any Jewish people, you don't know what they are unless they're wearing a yarmulke or something. And she told me that sponsa is the way that, we say black in Yiddish. And she says, we're not like the sponsas. We can, and hopefully nobody knows Yiddish and knows what that word actually means, but it is what we call black people. They did say it was Sforzen is a better way, so I'll just stick with that. She said the Sforzens have it, not as good as us, because you can look at them and see what they are. I'm getting off in the weeds a little bit. This has made me want to know who I am. So I actually didn't do what you're talking about and listen to Amanda. Don't allow someone to take your blood unless you have paid them, and it will be protected under the HIPAA laws, which say, at least right now, that they can't use it for anything than what you judge. And I did. I found out that I'm 7/8 Hasidic Jewish, and then I'm 1/8 Scottish, hence the red beard.
But if you read the paperwork and stuff with, like, I know Ancestry.com, they work with the government. They will give your DNA to the government. You sign a paper, they're going to do it.
Doggone right. You give the government any power, they're going to do it. You weigh in here anytime you want, Mr. Carlos.
Well, in Portugal, we have really good data protection laws. Of course, the United States already has my DNA and all that shit, because in the 90s I sent out for National Geographic Genome Project, and I also did my ancestry. I'm more complex than what you are. Okay, I'm 45% Celt, 35% Roman, 8% Germanic, 3.5% Neanderthal, and the rest unknown.
I'm sorry.
So yeah.
I wasn't muted, and you made me laugh with the Neanderthal thing. I'm going to mute myself while you continue.
No, honestly, I know that's cool, man. Because I didn't know that I was that high a Neanderthal. And I'm proud of it.
I do find, like, the Genome Project interesting. I love the idea of searching that back. I love that they've found different, I don't know what they call demi-species of human, whatever, the different
humans, actual human species, races of humans. The only correct way we can say human races.
Yeah, exactly. There were different races of man back then, and I find that fascinating, but I also find it scary, the idea that you're giving them your blood for them to do this research, but they can do anything with it now. They have your DNA. It's just a printout once they've done the test.
Yeah, exactly. I can't. They won't. I can say, oh, they won't affect me here. I know that I'm not that naive. Of course, that can affect me. That can even send in a Black Hawk or a drone and blow me away or whatever. But I don't expect that to happen because shit, I'm not.
Yeah, but I mean, if we don't
But
worry about it and we don't expect it now, that's how, like, nobody expected that they could use drones to do something as vile as heat seek the ground to find people and then go, oh, look, there's people, we're going to blow them up.
oh,
They do
yes.
that now in war, so they could do that now to anybody.
I must say right now, stop all drone strikes, President Trump. You want to talk trash on Obama? You're no better than him. Those are little kids at a wedding, you son of a bitch. And I love Trump. Everybody that sees me get animated about this, they think, oh, he don't like Trump. And I'm pretty sure I lost some subscribers the other day due to it. Guess what? Go on. My channel is for people with open minds that even though they disagree with me, can be disagreeable about it. And as long as he signed executive orders to blow up people, oh, I can't even talk about it. It makes me so angry. You son of a bitch. How would you feel if you and Melania were celebrating a bris for your Jewish children from Ivanka, and here comes boom, and you're blown up? You wouldn't like that much, would you son of a bitch?
What people don't realize is the Constitution already has gun control, has weapon control written into it. By saying that the people have the right to have all of the same weapons that the government has the right to have, that's meant to both have the people be able to control the government if it tries to attack them, but also the people having the right to have that weapon is supposed to control the government's development of weapons. They're not supposed to want to make a drone that can heat seek people, because then the people have the right to have that weapon too. The Constitution says so.
So please, I got to press you on this. So in other words, Mrs. Wolfchild, and I'm not disagreeing with you, I just want the viewers to completely understand you. So you're saying, and I believe it follows the Constitution, so you know I'm not trying to set you up to bust you. So you're saying that if the government has possession of a nuclear warhead, that if I have the money and the know-how to build a nuclear warhead and put it on an ICBM, I should have one in my backyard.
Yes. You have the right. That's what that clause is supposed to stop the government from creating things like that. You're supposed to be like, whoa, 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 we don't want to develop a nuclear bomb, because then anybody could have a fucking nuclear bomb, man.
I agree with that 1000%. And I got to say, for Carlos and Mrs. Wolfchild, we all have channels, and we all, get a chance to spout off. So I see that, let's see, this Tiger, this is Mr. Tigerson. His mic is muted, but as soon as your mic is unmuted, sir, we would love to hear what you have to say. Continue, folks. I'm sorry for breaking in. I have to play host from time to time.
That's fine. But
hello.
Hi.
Hello, Mr. Tigerson. Tell us something about yourself. I'd like to thank you so much. Let me first ask you a question. Did you come to my channel from Honey Badger Radio?
I did, yeah. I mean,
right.
I'm more into these sorts of social issues, really, and about the whole Vault 7 stuff. I'm a bit less sort of well versed on, I guess. But,
well, that's okay, but you can probably speak to. In fact, let me not interrupt you. You continue, sir. You have about 5 minutes before anyone will interrupt you.
Sure, man. Yeah, well, I guess, I mean, I literally just joined you talking about the guns and stuff. And I saw literally the other day, actually, something that Stefan Molyneux said. It was a quote, I think. And, people are a bit divided on Stefan Molyneux. I know he's a bit of a divisive guy, but he said how people who say they're in favor of gun control, ironically, sort of pro-gun, because they're pro the government using more guns to control guns. So
exactly.
I guess that's a pretty valid point, really.
Because that's the only way you could do it, especially in this country, in this culture, is to forcibly take the guns from people and then give the people that you deem have the ability to have power, the police or the soldiers, they get to have the guns. So you're really pro-gun. You just want to control who gets to have the gun and who gets to point it at you.
Rather, the response to domestic gun violence is not more government, basically.
Exactly. I'm all for less government, more states' rights, fewer federal government shit. I don't like all that.
Sure. I mean, I'm still young, I'm only 21, and I'm a student at the moment, so I've like never really been financially independent or anything like that. But you know, I'm in the middle of reading 1984. But yeah, I'm just kind of, I found myself a bit of a minority amongst.
Where are you at in the book, if you don't mind me asking? I hate to bust your balls, but where are you at in the book?
I've just got past the bit where he's met that girl called Juliet. Is that her name?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's past the part where he meets the guy that's bragging about taking words out, and they're in the lunchroom, you know.
God, it's been so long since I've read a
I don't
book.
recognize that
I'm
bit
sorry,
yet.
Mr. Tigers, too. I'm gonna let you continue, but that's great that you're reading that because he wrote that. I mean, so long ago, and he wasn't it you or someone saying he's spinning in his grave so hard that we need to hook up a dynamo to his grave site, and we were going to split it. Was that you, sir, or was that another one of my commenters?
Someone else has probably said that. Yeah, I mean.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back on shut up mode.
If I'm brutally honest, the constant sort of comparisons to 1984, they get a bit cliched sometimes, but
it's very true.
Certainly it's relevant, yeah.
And also, if you haven't read it yet, Fahrenheit 451. I love that book, and it relates a lot to today.
I also studied Animal Farm at school when I was like 13,
Yeah,
and learned alongside how it was, you know, definitely about communism and the Russian Revolution and all that. And
only pigs can sleep in beds.
And it's just so weird because I'm at uni. You see all these people, and you see all these posters at my university, and there was a poster a couple of months ago praising the legacy of Fidel Castro.
Oh goodness, no!
Of my university's Marxist society, and you know, and there's a house down the street from mine, and it had a hammer and sickle flag in the window, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
You know,
you gotta remember, some people are, or wait, what was it? Some animals are just better than others.
They teach kids so little. They teach kids so little about what's really going on in the world that for like most of my life, I thought Fidel Castro was some long dead, bygone dictator. It was like a rude awakening to realize, oh, we're still letting this shit happen? Oh, okay.
Yeah, and his brother's no better. Ramon, somebody correct me if I got the name wrong. Ramon, or what's the hell's his name?
And
it's the same regime.
Does he rock the sweatpants suit just as good as Fidel did?
You know, that's a Jewish thing. I kind of take offense to them bastards wearing their Jew uniforms, and I see that all of the Muslims now are.
Did you just say Jew uniform? Okay. I'm sorry.
Yes, well, it's like everybody in my family, when we're not wearing a suit, we have on the Adidas track suit is what I mean, I've got the pants on right now, folks. I'm not even kidding. These are my Adidas track pants because that's the Jew uniform. And I've noticed that all the Muslims now are wearing this. Oh, anyway, I'll shut up. It pisses me off. That's our stuff. That's ours.
Stop a cultural appropriation of the Jew look, the Jew uniform of a track suit. Oh.
And now I must say Shabbat Shalom, all of my Muslim brothers, because your father was Abraham too, you morons. You just had Hagar for a mother, and we had Sarah. We're brothers. Why can't we just love each other? Now be quiet.
If you wear Hugo Boss, you're also culturally appropriating the SS.
I culturally.
I don't know if you can see it, but I got Hugo Boss on right now, brother.
Oh my God.
There you go then. That says it all, doesn't it?
You know, I've heard a very interesting theory before from a friend who's a major pothead, so probably insane, but I love the theory. Like one of those perma-fried kind of major potheads. Like this is a family friend he's been smoking weed his whole life, and I grew up around him, and he always has crazy shit to say. But he has a great theory that the Bible is actually a misinterpreted written history of our world before, like that we had a whole society like this before and we crashed it down, so they like wrote it out so that we wouldn't fuck it up again when humans came back to the top, and we took it and interpreted it wrong, made it into a religion, and we're fucking up the world again.
I've heard that too. I mean, it does make sense, doesn't it?
It's interesting that like he got real deep into it and drew a bunch of parallels that I've found at least made you think.
Hey, does anybody know if I would get in any trouble if I shared something that Steven Crowder did? We were talking about Fidel Castro. I kind of want to screen share this, but will I get in any kind of like copyright trouble?
Only if you play more than 30 seconds in a row without interruption or narrative.
Crowder
okay, I'm going to time this for 30 seconds as soon as I get a break because this is hilarious, and I'm just going to plug his channel anyway.
Can you feed the sound through? Do you have the sound mixer?
Oh, that's a good question, and you know what?
Unless you have the sound, if you don't have a sound mixer that you can't feed the sound through,
you're right.
Even try.
Yeah, and I freaking knew that too. Thank you so much, Liz.
Directly off of OBS.
No, I'm done. I remembered I tried that before. I can't believe I forgot. Thank you so much, Liz. Continue. I'm sorry.
I was just making sure you didn't.
Well, I meant the group. I just ruined a great conversation, and I'm supposed to be the host. Let me shut up and let y'all continue.
Oh, come on, grow some balls, man. You don't.
We forgive you.
I got balls, girl. I just try to be the host today, man. When I'm not the host, if you didn't see me on the Honey Badger, you'll see. I don't let this lady told me I was incorrect while I was giving a subjective point. And I'm not even gonna mention them. Go watch the video. And then I had to deal with fanboys in the comments, and they wondered why I was standing up for it myself. I am the laughing ogre. I am the king of the trolls. No one can out debate me. I have the brains. I have the brawn. I work them out every day. Fuck all comers. Bring it, bitches. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead.
Oh my God. That was so beautiful. I just shit a little. Just a little.
The fanboyness of the comments of the Honey Badger thing, that was really unexpected, to be honest.
They weren't ready for me, dude. I'm not an MRA or whatever that is. I'm an egalitarian.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, Sevi was on there the other day and was talking about an actual way to help homeless people, to go on a slight tangent. And she actually is doing something directly to try to get a hold of Congress to get some of the budget that's being put towards redoing the infrastructure on hiring the homeless to help rebuild America's infrastructure. It would give jobs to a lot of people that desperately need it, putting them back to work. And so she's doing this pitch to get it sent all the way around fucking Twitter on one of the Thunderclap things. And she actually got the Honey Badgers to get teary-eyed.
You talk about Civi?
No.
Sevi, yeah, it's fucking
She
great.
is badass. Now listen, before I let you go, Amanda, we actually stomped on Tiger Son, and I don't want to stick up for myself. If you wanted to finish your thought about the fanboy thing, I would really appreciate it, sir.
I was just going to say, it was just so weird how they were accusing you of gynocentrism or something. I mean, I don't know. It's just weird.
They always do that.
So continue, girls. I cut him off, and I'm good at that. So whatever you got to say, Tiger Son, you finish.
But they're usually better than that. So,
Oh, I found a lot of love there, and the few that were there. And listen, they would have me back on. They want me back on. There's people that have been trying to get on there for a long time. I tried once, and they called me right away. They heard my voice. I did some demos for them. They're like, "Oh yeah, come on." But I will say it right now. Since they didn't even bother to get in the comment section and be like, "Hey, folks," which if you watch my channel, I do that all the time. I won't censor anybody, but I just did it with. He's watching right now, MCJK, in plain speech. I kind of got the feeling maybe they were getting angry. I asked them. They said no. I said, have at it, gentlemen. I love a game debate. And they rolled. But they didn't even bother coming in there and saying, hey, we asked this guy spur of the moment after that he just got done with a 7-hour-long live stream. I'm OCD. I'm not going to go into this forever, but I stayed up all night editing it down. You can see it on my channel, the best of, and there's more to come. But, all I got to do, got one thing to say. Anybody, this will be recorded, and I'm sure they come because I get a couple thumbs downs now on all my videos, and I know who it is. You are welcome to come on We're All Fucked live stream. Mrs. Amanda Wolfchild will be there, and she can smell pussy and bullshit 10 miles away. So if you're going to bring that, I won't even have to say a thing. She will rip you a new asshole, and you can shit twice a day.
I do have a good radar for bitches and bullshit.
Wow, that was a beautiful speech. I pooped again.
Well, it's not an ass kissing fest for me today either. I just want to continue on because we're not getting off topic. I want to keep on this idea of this surveillance state because as an American and as a person that lives, I've chosen to live way up here in the woods. I live in the middle of nowhere. I've chosen that. I don't want anyone watching me do anything. I don't care if it's kissing my wife. I don't care if it's feeding I don't care if it's masturbating in the shower. I don't want anybody watching me do nothing. And if you give them a little window in, it's over with. And I really, I want to hear, Carlos's mic is muted and so is Civvy. So Mr. Tigerson, Mrs. Wolfchild, either one of y'all want to comment on that? Rock and roll.
Well, I was just going to say that's already too late. I mean, we have cameras in phones. There's cameras in computers. There's cameras in traffic lights. Cameras are everywhere. It's already too late. They're
well, but Mr. Tigerson's 21. Do you feel that it's too late, Mr. Tigerson?
Yeah, we're pretty far down a rabbit hole, to be honest. Yeah.
It's already too late. They're already watching everything.
The thing is, I got one major question. What would happen if all of a sudden everybody from that department was fired? They would just wipe everything on their way out. And that would actually be the biggest blessing we could ever fucking have, is all that data erased to start over. But the problem is that they will not fire them because they know that they will lose all the data.
Well, that's what we're going to see is these hacktivists are going to start going after this kind of shit, and they're going to start attempting to wipe the data, and it's going to become a big battle between them. But this is just a natural progression of things that started way back when they started putting cameras every fucking where. We started going down a path, and it's leading towards a conclusion that's going to be a fucking... Basically, I think we're on our way towards a civil war. We have a lot of different issues that are going to lead us there, but it's going to be the states versus the people versus the major federal government again, because they're going to have too much power again.
I must make a disclaimer and say that though I want to stay on this vein, none of us here on this show are advocating for any of this, and neither is Mrs. Wolfchild. But no, I do want to stay on this vein. So continue, Mrs. Wolfchild.
I'm not advocating for it. This is how I see things going. I mean, if you read back through history, you could see this happened before. This was really what the first Civil War was about, was states' rights versus federal government rights. And there were a lot of hot button issues that were used to push it. And then in the after effect, they write things the way they want to, and you read them and learn them as history for the rest of your life. And it became, that's what this was about. That's what the whole war was about. These people were dumb and we were right. And they're going to say that because that helps legitimize their power. I'm not saying that slavery wasn't an issue, that these things were not issues. And I'm not saying we don't have issues today, but they take these issues, they build on them, and it's going to keep pushing. It's a powder keg. We're going to have a war. It's going to happen eventually.
Yeah, anyone else want to jump in on that, starting with Tigerson? You go right ahead.
What's the general perception of Trump's attitude to this sort of thing? Because you know, I mean, it's difficult for me to get that idea from over here, really, and we've got our own sort of ideological warfare in the UK at the moment with the European Union. So yeah,
I don't really think it's going to happen within a Trump regime, actually. So I don't think he's really worried about it. Like, all he's thinking about is being an economic president, trying to do the things he promised, trying to prove he's going to be the president that, you know, people wanted him to be. That's all he cares about. That's what his big show is. What's going to happen is when the other side gets back in power, they're going to crack down twice as hard. And that's when things are going to really come to a head.
Is there not really much predicting what's going to happen the next time round?
And I think Mr. Carlos may have something to say. He just came back on. I want to make sure that he doesn't have something to add to this.
Was trying to get the gist of the conversation about power grabbing, and well, I might need to continue to listen. I still. Now you have my...
Oh, no worries. I wasn't trying to put you on the spot. I just seen your mic off, and I wasn't sure if you had something burning. So you two continue doing. You're doing just fine. And Civvy, also, when your mic's back on, anybody want to jump in? I'm just going to go silent.
Stop calling me Sevy.
Oh, son of a bitch. You know what? I'm not even saying her fucking name right. It's
calling me Sevy.
And you are Lizzie. And you don't want the miss thing because you're a badass bitch, and you don't need my...
I don't care about the miss thing. I just
Liz, at least you hadn't mentioned your glorious dick until I just did.
And hey, listen, the funny thing is you're the first person I asked on here, and then I call him Doc, but Carlos is second. And because you two, I know I didn't want to bother Mrs. Wolfchild because she's on the live stream, and I know she's got her own problems, but you were, so I should get your fucking name right. I'll get it right.
Oh my God. It's just because I talked about Sevi a few minutes ago. Sevi's my roommate and my,
Yeah.
woman. He, so the whole funny part about it is that people now are actually not mistaking because we're always doing stuff together on the internet. They're always mistaking one name for the other because Sevi and Liz E, or it's just Sev or Liz. It's just kind of like that one syllable type name, and it keeps fucking with people. So you're not the only one that keeps doing it. But I do have something to go back to the topic is that when this was going down, Sebi had tweeted out several bits and pieces of what happened. And I wanted to ask your opinion on what do you think about the Samsung Galaxy TVs and the cell phones. I can't remember the name of them. They've
been doing that forever. That's what I think. They told you in the doggone.
Yeah, but wait, I just lost connection again.
I thought I did too.
No. You're still there.
No, he did. Ogre froze.
He did.
Oh no.
Was he still frozen?
Oh no. He's frozen.
Shit.
We've lost the
He'll
host.
come
I
back.
guess we were talking a little too much about the CIA. We keep getting shut down. Hacking confirmed.
Look,
CIA.
it feels like CNN when they cut off the host.
Yeah,
the whole cutting
there
off
was
of the
secretly
host
a red bead on his cowboy hat there.
I mean, that's a good old tinfoil hat, but when they were cutting off like an interviewer on CNN whenever someone was criticizing Hillary or something, that was just ridiculous. I mean, there was definitely something in that. That was so
It was
funny.
too obvious.
Yeah.
The problem was
so
it was
funny,
too
though.
obvious.
It was so funny.
Well,
like, oh, so sorry, we
Yeah.
lost connection. We'll get back to you.
Yeah.
CNN came
Yeah,
out.
he'll come.
They came out and said at one point that nobody could say that the press didn't give Hillary an easy time, that she didn't get a free ride from them. So I mean, they came out and admitted that they were for Hillary, that they were trying to help her along.
We lost the host.
Yeah, they
That
did.
means
Yeah.
that we've
He'll
got
come
15
back.
minutes.
How can he leave the call?
He
He
doesn't
can.
have long, or we're
He
gonna
can leave
stop
the call,
stream.
but that means his live stream may collapse in about 15 minutes if he does not
Oh.
reconnect properly.
Exactly. Yes.
It's
Oh,
happened
shit.
to some people in as little as 9.
Yeah,
But,
so he's got to hurry up and try to reconnect, unless he's got unless the CIA's got him.
Yeah,
they
unless
don't.
they
They're a white
busted him.
man parked in front of your house.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sure he's complete. He's the sixth column, not even the fifth column, the sixth column that they call the infiltrating. He's total national security threats to the United States.
Also, the way that they were treating.
They got Ogre. Look at the side chat. Mad Woman Music is Ogre down, Ogre down. They got Ogre. Rally the troops. Save the Ogre. Hashtag save the Ogre.
Which one of us is next?
We have to
Probably.
They
keep trying to
I'll
shut
be
me
probably-
down for my suggestions that they need to rehire new people to be the CIA. They need to completely wipe it and just start over. And so that means I'm gonna. No, kidding. I was gonna stall right there and purposefully leave the call and come back.
Someone's done it. Maybe Ogre.
Yeah, maybe Ogre killed his feed.
But
So,
even if they do bring in new people, you're forgetting the old people. The old people will just be recycled into other jobs. Happened here where I live. In 1975, we got rid of our dictatorship. An actual dictatorship.
So
It's
whereabouts are you from? Sorry.
Portugal,
Okay.
one of the pigs of the European Union. And
Well,
I hope they kick us
Portugal,
out.
Portugal is in the European
Yeah.
Union, isn't it?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
unfortunately, yeah.
Yes.
And we had our own CIA, which was the PIDE, and had another three initials, National Defense or something. And they probably taught the CIA some tricks, because goddamn, they were fucking good at it. And then those guys that after they were shut down, they lingered on for some time, and there's still some of them that were just got in before the revolution. are still influencing us now, and they got into our. They are in our secret service now. We do have a secret service, yes.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, that's been wiretapping the president, the prime minister, the speaker of the house, and all that shit. So yeah.
Maybe they're in cahoots with our CIA.
No. They're not. They are, but they're not. This was just totally internal. That just.
I mean, it's not like this is a new thing. I'm sure this has been happening since as long as there's been presidents, as long as there's been people in power. You've had people spying and listening. Everybody wants to know what everybody's doing, especially somebody who has the power to make a decision that could change the world. Everybody wants to know what that person is doing, what they're thinking, what they do behind closed doors. And
Now,
curious people are going to find a way.
Most young people tend to do it voluntarily when they post everything they do on Facebook.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, when I stopped using Facebook, people thought I fucking died, and it was just like, no, due to my controversial opinions, I do not want to lose family members and friendships because shit that's going to come out of my mouth is going to piss you off. So I shall only do minor updates on my Facebook now and I keep my messenger on, but I do not post on Facebook.
My family is so very far conservative, like they toe the line real hard between right and alt-right. I'll post liberal shit to them just to fuck with them, just because they need to think about other shit.
Sure, yeah.
About the spying on people, the internal and external, that's been going on since the city-state emerged. And we're talking about 5,000 years ago, 6,000 years ago.
Yeah, they've always done that.
So it's,
curious people are going to find a way.
So if we want to get rid of the surveillance state, we should go back to hunter-gathering. That's a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke.
Actually,
sorry.
I was just going to say, I'm a strong proponent of small-scale sustainable farming in community-type settings, and I think that would actually be, since